Our first WallStreetBets hero is u/infectedtoe, who posted a lovely screenshot showing a $123,000 loss, which amounts to a 99.5% loss over the past 3 years. The OP shares his bad luck, if you can even call it that, stating that quite literally every single one of their options trades did the exact opposite of what they wanted it to do. Fellow Reddit user Mr. Doms questioned our hero's logic, stating that the OP had almost no significant gains over the past 3 years of trading, and at no point decided to reconsider their strategy. Our hero, however, responded that they never really had a strategy to begin with, and simply picked directional options with 0 days to expiry and then hope for the best. Roulette is not our poor OP's game, and it seems that they think blackjack may be their game in the future, although fellow Reddit user Snowbrawler responded stating that our hero would probably hit 21s in the casino. Our hero u/infectedtoe then stated further down the Reddit post that they placed their final $600 into $305 meta puts on the 14th of September, expiring the following day on the 15th of September. Miraculously, it seems that this bet paid off as meta stock plunged from $311 to $300 the very next day, yielding our hero some much needed tendies and congratulations from fellow WallStreetBets users. Next up, we have a truly special Reddit post from u/interactionfun5368 with the title, "I need help, Robinhood says I need to deposit $4.4 million. Our OP's Robinhood account has reached a concentrated maintenance call, requiring our hero to deposit a whopping $4.4 million or liquidate some of their positions, as it seems the OP was using over $500,000 on margin, with at least 70% of this in a single stock. Now let's rewind back to the start when the OP wanted to trade credit spreads on SPY. Beginning with $32,000, our OP gained around $500 to $1,000 a week selling puts on DWAC, which is a SPAC that plans to merge with Donald Trump's social media company. Then our hero began to trade iron condors on SPY, which is essentially made up of 2 spreads and allows traders to profit in low volatility markets which move sideways. Now comes the start of the disaster for our hero, when an iron condor closed out of the money on both sides, which should normally be a good thing. However, our OP made an oversight and Robinhood closed out the position before expiration, causing the OP to lose $9,000, presumably due to a margin call. After subsequently making back $25,000 the following day, the OP then sold put credit spreads, selling a put on the S&P 500 and buying a lower strike put. Unfortunately for the OP, the S&P 500 dropped, and their spreads became deep into the money, dropping their account below $25,000, in which our hero was forced to deposit an additional $10,000, which would take several days to clear into the account. The following day, the OP's Robinhood account was restricted due to their account value dropping below $25,000 the day before. Our hero was then forced to sell positions at a loss to settle the restriction and re-enable trading. Finally, that brings us to the end, in which the OP had to decide between depositing $4.4 million or closing all of their positions, the day before their additional $10,000 deposit would settle into the account. Robinhood stated that once our hero's deposit clears, then they will be in a deficit of $776, a truly quite mind-boggling story and stressful turn of events for the OP, who seems to have lost their $32,000 original deposit and $10,000 top-up within the space of a month, through some incredibly high-risk option strategies, which appears to have maximised leverage and traded too close to the margin call threshold when concentrated into just one underlying stock. Fellow Reddit users quickly lapped this post up, providing our hero with over 30,000 upvotes, and WallStreetBets user Paul FXR provides a quick and practical solution to our hero, stating that they heard Venezuela has no extradition to the United States. Another user by the name of disastrous_excuse provides some different advice. Borrow from another bank to cover the outstanding, and then borrow from another bank to pay the other bank off. Mesh Replacer then replied saying that if you do this enough times, the government will step in and bail you out. It's the one weird trick they don't want you to know about. Finally, we have WallStreetBets user dumb_brick, who said it's fine, just give it some time and stocks only go up. I feel for you, OP. You are a true mentalist. Moving on to another post, we have WallStreetBets user u/BigJimsRibs, who turned $600 into $20,000 with the help of SPY and QQQ options, safely cashing out from a lucky streak. Our hero's first big win in this lucky streak was on $446 strike calls on SPY expiring the next day, on the 30th of August 2023, when SPY increased by 1%, netting the OP some tasty gains. However, looking through the comments, we can see that our hero is a true gambler, being actually still down $1.5 thousand after losing 20k several times using the same strategy, so a bit of a bittersweet moment. Our hero agreed with fellow Reddit users that this $20,000 probably won't last long, as the OP has done this all before, being a true connoisseur of 2-week, weekly, and next day expiry options. Perhaps the only piece of decent advice on this Reddit post is from fellow Reddit user Psyched for This, who suggested withdrawing 19.4k and starting over with the $600. If this $600 is lost, then don't deposit again for a while. However, needless to say, this advice was ridiculed by fellow Wall Street bettors, with South Sea Bubbles replying, "Don't listen to this virgin, turn that 20k into $666,000, and Dirty X Harry stating that Psyched for This lost our OP at withdrawal. Regardless, our hero is still congratulated for their unfounded degeneracy, being called a true retard by fellow Reddit users. Bless up Big Jim's ribs, a true mentalist." Next up, we have u/Cleveland17, who posts a lovely gain of $170,000 on their Webull brokerage account, after buying puts on Apple expiring in April 2023, stating that everyone made fun of them last time, but they are certainly not laughing now, as our hero's portfolio now sits at a whopping value of nearly $500,000. Fellow Wall Street Bets user Steve WPNW replied with some age-old advice that if it's good enough to screenshot, it's good enough to sell, to which our hero shares that they have already sold, but in true degenerate fashion, they will be back. Other Reddit users replied that the OP is too smart for the subreddit, and that they actually make money, so they may have to be banned from Wall Street Bets. Another Reddit user by the name of Rang411 replied that we will continue to make fun of Cleveland17, regardless of the huge gain, with others noticing the safe risk level stated by Webull. Anyway, congratulations on the $170,000 gain, Cleveland17, keep it up. Following on to our next hero, we have Burrito Burglar 9000, who posts a quite sad loss on Wall Street Bets, stating that they are down $45,000, their dog just died and their fiancé left them. At least it seems their cry for a flare worked as a consolation prize, in which fellow Reddit user 99_Gretzky suggested a Wendy's career flare. Another Reddit user by the name of Bluebird Dolphin is more concerned about their fiancé, replying to check whether their fiancé took the phone charger as a kick in the teeth. Another user went on to reply that their fiancé took absolutely everything, even the ice cube trays out of the freezer. On a more positive note, fellow Wall Street bettor Zachary Alexander reminds our hero that they still have $620 to play with, and some of our other heroes have done far more than $45,000 with less. Given our OP's flair, it seems that they may have been successful, as our hero has been crowned the comeback kid. Well done, Burrito Burglar 9000. Our next Wall Street Bets post is perhaps the largest loss of the video, in which Reddit user u/Kobe2348 shares a screenshot of their Webull brokerage account, where they lost a whopping $876,000 over the past few years. Fellow Wall Street Bets user Always My Fault notices one large spike in our hero's profit and loss chart, in which they reply saying, imagine being down 400k, then being up 500k the next week and not selling, just to go on to lose $876,000. As bad as this sounds, our OP actually manages to make this worse, explaining that the chart is misleading, and they were actually up at one point close to $1 million just on Webull alone, and then also up several $100,000 on public as well. Defiant Fisherman goes on to state that the OP didn't know when to pull out, just like his father, and failure runs in their genes. Another Reddit user replied, quoting Goldman Sachs, "Thank you for your wire of $851,896.10 USD to Goldman Sachs Group Incorporated. We wish you a happy new year." to which our hero again boasts that the actual amount lost is actually closer to $1.3 million, and regardless of this, they are still hopeful for a comeback. To sum up our hero's true degeneracy, we can take a look at a final comment in which Vets in Debts questions the OP, stating that they lost $1.3 million in a year and they are not even phased. Our OP is a true hero and we should all learn from him and do what he does. Surprisingly, our hero, Kobe2348, says that this huge loss does in fact phase them, but they are not going to piss and moan. They are going to work their arse off and buy the dip, learning from their huge mistakes and avoiding YOLOs in the future. Good luck, Kobe2348, a true hero of WallStreetBets. Returning to some more lovely gains, we can move on to u/FarmSales1, who posts a delicious screenshot of their Robinhood brokerage account, in which our OP is up over $100,000, taking their total account value up to $204,000, meaning their portfolio is up over 100%, or in other words, doubled. Needless to say, in such a period of doom and gloom, fellow Reddit users lapped this one up, enjoying seeing someone posting a gain for once in a while, and encouraging our hero, saying dude, good shit, glad to see someone make it to the other side. Fluffy Bunnies for the win notes that this post will ironically fuel other people's gambling addiction, or love for investing, depending on how you want to look at it. Another Reddit user states that if our hero had $100,000 to throw into stocks to begin with, then they were doing fine as is. Offerless responds saying that there is a 48.6 or 47.4% chance that you can double $100,000 faster by putting every single cent on red in roulette. After some consideration, they realise that this may in fact be the most likely way for them to make $100,000 in a year, and with that being said, Offerless began their 30-year saving journey so they can make the biggest investment of their life. Next up, for another lovely gain, we have WallStreetBets user u/TheWolfOfLosses, who was up a whopping $69,000 on GameStop on their Webull brokerage account, using an assortment of call options as well as some normal shares. Most impressively, our hero Wolf of Losses is up 863% on some $20 strike calls, which expired on the 24th of March, yielding the OP nearly $40,000 before even considering all of their other positions on GameStop. Now of course, given that we are now quite some time away from the fateful GME short squeeze, of course WallStreetBets loved this post, giving our hero over 20,000 upvotes, somewhat reviving the lovely phase of GameStop. Fellow WallStreetBets user Chris But Bad left a simple congrats and FU in response to this massive gain, which was followed by many other Reddit users who agreed with this simple message. Another Reddit user by the name of Sure Why Not questioned NYC Walker 76 on how the OP managed to make so much money, asking whether our hero simply bought shares for $10, and these shares are now worth $25, and now our hero has made $15 per share. Well, not quite, but luckily for Sure Why Not, WallStreetBets are a friendly bunch and are keen to give out some free education. Those are calls, it's called trading options. It's super easy and foolproof. The best way to get rich fast, and it's best to start out through simple trial and error. Have fun with it. Some of the absolute best advice I've ever heard. Not actually, it's some of the worst. Don't sue me. Now back on to a horrible loss for our next WallStreetBets user who goes by the name of u/HeartBleedHack. Here we can see a 117k loss on 12,500 0-day until expiry calls on SPY. Our hero says it's quite self-explanatory. They dollar cost averaged into a large position to close out at basis earlier in the day, in which it sat there forever at like 1 to 3 cents. Then they had to leave to help their kids and it spiked over their cost basis at around 1 PM Eastern Standard Time. However, they weren't at their computer for 35 minutes and they couldn't close out their position. It then went on and they couldn't close at 5 cents due to commissions. So why not just go all the way? You win some, you lose some. Fellow Reddit user South Sea Bubbles replied, laughing at the fact that our hero apparently dollar cost averaged into 0-day until expiry options. Our OP goes on to be corrected as people suggested maybe the term doubling down or averaging down rather than dollar cost averaging into 0-day until expiry options may be more appropriate. However, I like what fellow WallStreetBets user Tersiv suggests, advocating for a DCA'd into 0 DTE flare for our hero. Fellow Reddit user The Teachers Network goes on to share a screenshot of their Reddit feed with r/askreddit above this lovely WallStreetBets post. What's the fastest way you've ever seen someone go broke? $117,000 loss on 12,500 0 DTE SPY calls. Next up, we have a WallStreetBets user who also featured in one of my previous videos by the name of u/nanobytes Inc. This time, Nanobytes Incorporated posts a horrific loss screenshot showing a $138,000 loss selling calls on Tesla, leaving our hero's Webull account with a net account value of minus $12,957. You guys were right. Lost all $138,000 selling calls on Tesla. Of course, WallStreetBets lapped this one up, giving Nanobytes nearly 30,000 upvotes, and a mod stating that the Nanobytes saga enters the WallStreetBets Hall of Fame for 2023. If you're interested in a whole video covering the entire Nanobytes Inc. saga, then please leave a comment down below. Anyway, fellow WallStreetBets user The Resistance XZ replied, saying that when someone comes onto WallStreetBets and begins a post with, "You guys were right," then you know you're about to see some effed up shit. When you inverse WallStreetBets, you either do well or get your shit really effed up. Fellow Reddit user Cars on the Carcinogen replies in a different vein, saying that there's such a contrast on Reddit. Some people complain about wages and anti-work, while others lose $130,000 for some pretend internet points. It also seems that our hero, Nanobytes Inc., may in fact be a true mentalist, as it seems they have a YouTube channel, which I'll link in the description. If this is truly them and their lifestyle, then it seems they travel around nearly homeless, and just put their fortune onto massive options bets. Regardless, Nanobytes, I wish you good luck, good travels, and good fortune. A true hero, and a member of the WallStreetBets Hall of Fame. Moving on to our next WallStreetBets user, we have u/Savage, who posts a screenshot of their Robinhood brokerage account showing over $52,000, with the OP stating that they have never had more than $30,000 in any point in their entire life, but they have just managed to make it in 7 hours. Our hero shows a large collection of SPY calls, which are all thoroughly in the green. Fellow WallStreetBets user Commercial Occasion 72 provides some sensible advice to our hero. If you have legitimately turned $300 into $50,000 over the course of just 12 days, then do yourself a favour and acknowledge the fact that you got extremely lucky. Take out $45,000 and play with the remaining $7,000. If you can do it again, then just do the same thing. That's $100,000 right there, and you don't have to gamble your whole life for it. Or you could just throw 50k into calls or whatever. TJ Walker 9876 responds to this comment stating that if he turned $300 into $50,000 in just 12 days, then in 12 more days he would be worth over $8 million if he maintained his current trajectory. In a similar vein, Hotblood27 commented that our hero, u/Savage, should take it out and delete Robinhood. However, the OP responds, saying that they should, but they simply won't, acknowledging that this is in fact good advice though. Regardless, congratulations on the game, u/Savage, and considering you refused to take out the money, I wish you the best of luck, and I wonder if your account value is in fact above $8 million today. Finally, let's end on a WallStreetBets post which epitomizes the degeneracy and stupidity of the subreddit. WallStreetBets user u/view960 posts a screenshot of their Robinhood brokerage account showing a huge 1,457% gain, taking their total account value to $51,000. It seems that the OP has done the impossible, inversed WallStreetBets to turn $3,000 into $51,000. However, unfortunately for the OP, these gains were mostly unrealised, and our hero did not sell despite the huge gain. Our OP held these positions and they expired worthless, having returned to being out of the money days before expiry. Fellow user Kodak's Dad 2020 responded, "Wait, he didn't sell? Didn't sell? It's not a gain. He watched a YouTube video called Buying and Selling Options, but didn't watch the second half. Reddit user Tower of Satan replied saying, imagine making 1400% in one day and not selling. However, of course, how could we forget what Lord Gibby reminds us? This is simply another day at the casino, which is WallStreetBets, and we can really see this is true through the suggestion of fellow WallStreetBets user, that guy, who advises our hero to double down and turn the 50k into $1 million. Regardless, congratulations on your temporary gain, u/view 960. It seems they may have cashed out for $13,000 through looking at the buying power in the screenshot, which is still a tasty gain if this is the case. Commiserations on the loss of the extra gains, but I'm sure our OP can still be happy with this large gain and learn to sell on such a large gain in the future. Now, thank you for watching this compilation of some of the best and worst WallStreetBets plays of the past 12 months. I hope you enjoyed it and make sure to subscribe and comment for more videos.